Have you ever felt like getting published in a top-tier journal is like trying to crack some kind of secret code? I mean, you've done the hard research, you've got the data, but what is that missing piece? Well, in this explainer, we're going to unlock some of the biggest secrets to navigating the super complex world of academic publishing. So, this is the big question, isn't it? It's the one that keeps researchers up at night. Your work is solid, the findings could be groundbreaking, so why? Why does that rejection letter still land in your inbox? Is there some kind of secret handshake to get past the gatekeepers? What's going on? Well, the answer really boils down to this one simple but incredibly powerful idea. Academia is not a monolith. Just like it says here, every single field has its own set of unwritten rules, its own methods, and its own expectations. Success isn't just about what you write, it's about how you write it for a very, very specific audience. Okay, so let's properly dig into this challenge. We're going to call it the rejection mystery, and it's a puzzle that plays out every single day in the hyper-competitive world of top-tier Scopus-indexed journals. And this right here, this is the heart of the mystery. The honest truth is a ton of rejections aren't really about the quality of the research itself. They happen because the manuscript, well, it feels like a tourist in a foreign country. It doesn't speak the local language, it doesn't follow the local customs. A generic one-size-fits-all approach is pretty much a recipe for failure. So, to solve this mystery, we really have to understand just how different these academic worlds are. A good way to think of them is like different countries, each with its own unique culture. What's perfectly normal and expected in one can be completely out of place in another. Let's see how this actually breaks down in practice. This table, honestly, it highlights the deep cultural divides perfectly. You look at STEM, and the language is all about precision and reproducibility, and it's communicated through super concise technical writing. But then you jump over to the social sciences, and the whole focus shifts to building a compelling story, a narrative around theories and interpretations. A STEM paper might get judged on its experimental design, while a humanities paper is all about the originality of its argument. It's a really fundamental difference in what's even valued. And this really gets to the heart of it, doesn't it? You know, a physics paper, it lives and dies by its precision, its equations, and results you can reproduce. But in contrast, a sociology paper has to build a compelling narrative, it has to engage with really complex theories, and interpret qualitative data. If you tried to write one like the other, it would be an absolute recipe for rejection. So this means that reviewers in different fields have completely different things they will not compromise on. In medical sciences, for example, a paper that doesn't perfectly nail ethical compliance and patient safety is dead on arrival, period. But in STEM, a single tiny flaw in the methodology can invalidate the entire work. Understanding what your reviewer's top priorities are is seriously half the battle. Okay, so we've established the problem. Every field is basically its own unique world. So what's the solution? Well, it's a strategy we can call discipline-specific customization. And believe me, it is the key that unlocks the door to publication. Now, this is way more than just proofreading. Customization is about transforming your manuscript so it becomes a native speaker in its academic field. It's all about strategically aligning everything, from your word choice to how you present your data, with all those unwritten rules and expectations of that specific intellectual culture. And why is this so critical? Well, the benefits are huge. When your paper speaks the right language, reviewers can actually focus on your ideas, not your formatting. It immediately places your work within the current debates, which makes it easier for other people to find, to understand, and, most importantly, to cite your research. This whole process is what bridges that massive gap between raw data and a polished, influential piece of scholarship. So, how is this actually done? How does it work in the real world? Let's take a look under the hood at the process that professional services often use to get to this really deep level of manuscript customization. You can see it's a really comprehensive process. It always starts with a subject matter expert, someone who actually understands the field's unwritten rules. And from there, every single element is aligned, from the technical formatting like APA or IEEE to how the data is visualized for maximum impact. This all flows into adopting the correct tone and language, and for fields like medicine, navigating those critical ethical guidelines that are, as we said, absolutely non-negotiable. But of course, this isn't easy. Not at all. The standards in some fields can change incredibly fast. Finding a true expert in a really niche area can be super difficult and expensive. And, there's a fine ethical line to walk, making sure that support doesn't cross over into ghostwriting. These challenges are exactly why high-quality, customized support is such a specialized skill.
So, where is all of this going? The world of academic support is evolving fast, driven by new technologies and the changing needs of researchers. Let's take a peek at what the future holds.
The future, it seems, is a hybrid model. This isn't about AI replacing human experts, it's about augmenting them. As you can see here, AI-powered tools are perfect for handling the repetitive stuff, like formatting and reference checks, and that frees up the human experts to focus on what AI just can't do: deep contextual understanding, strategic advice, and true mentorship.
And this shift is happening all across the board. We're moving away from simple editing and more towards holistic research mentorship. There's more support for complex, interdisciplinary work and a growing focus on helping non-native English speakers share their brilliant research with the world. Ultimately, these trends are all about empowering researchers to focus more on their ideas and less on the nitty-gritty mechanics of publication.
And this brings us to one final provocative question. As these support systems get more and more sophisticated, blending AI efficiency with deep human expertise, how does the role of the researcher itself evolve? Are we entering an era where researchers can focus purely on discovery and innovation, leaving the rest to these support systems? It's definitely something to think about. Thanks for joining me for this explainer.